Assalamualaikum semuanya. Ini lagi bersama Isni and welcome back to Friday Write Day with me, where we're gonna be uploading research and writing content every Friday. Isa ka bang estudyante na hindi alam kung ano yung gagawin sa iyong research? Or an aspiring researcher na hindi pa masyadong maalam sa field na ito? Or someone who just wants to know something about research? Don't worry, this channel is for you. Kung hindi nyo pa napapanood guys yung first 5 episodes ng ating Friday Write Day with me, please do so. And don't worry kasi ilalagay ko lang yung mga links ng ating Friday Write Day with me episodes sa ating description box below. And for the Facebook page ay ilalagay ko din yung links sa caption box, okay? So, for this episode, we're gonna be talking about variables. So, ano ba si independent and dependent variable? And specifically, we're gonna be dividing the discussion into two. So, the first part will be about defining variables, ano yung dependent variables, ano yung independent variables. For the second part, we will talk about how to write or put the dependent and independent variables or ano ba yung mga variables na dapat ilagay sa independent independent variable box and dependent variable box. So, what are we waiting for? Let's roll out that intro. Before we start the discussion, gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo kung ano yung mukha ng di ba na sabi na natin sa previous episode na ang conceptual framework ay ganito. Okay? So, yung conceptual framework ay explanation ng kung ano yung nakalagay sa inyong conceptual diagram. Okay? So, yun yung tanong, ano ba dapat yung ilalagay sa independent and then ano yung ilalagay sa dependent variable? Bakit kailangan pa nating ilagay yung independent and dependent variables? Let's think of independent and dependent variable as cause and effect. So, si independent variable ay cause, si dependent variable ay effect. So, we're gonna discuss bakit siya cause and effect, okay? Let's first define what is variable. So, according to Scriber, variable is any characteristic that can take on different values such as height, age, temperature, or test scores. So there's also another definition that says any such characteristics possessed by any living or non-living unit or thing whose values may change per unit or per groups of unit. So ano ba yung na-understand natin dito sa definitions na ito? First is variable ay lahat ng mga bagay, living or non-living things, bagay, hayop, tao, abstract or concrete na bagay na gusto nating ilagay sa ating research. So, it is everything and anything that exists within this world. So, yun yung variable. Si independent variable naman ay the cause. So, its values are independent of other variables in your study. Si independent variable ay hindi maaapektuhan na kahit anong variable. Independent siya. Though, pwede siyang i-manipulate, which is, bibigyan natin mamaya ng example kung paano i-manipulate ang independent variable. Si independent variable ay hindi pwedeng maapektuhan ng kahit anong variables. According to Scriber.com, may dalawang klase ng independent variable. The first kind of independent variable is experimental independent variable, which means pwede mong i-experiment, pwede mong i-manipulate yung independent variable mo to see what is the effect or outcome ng iyong dependent variable. Bigyan ko kayo ng example ng experimental independent variable. So for example, gusto kong mag-research, I wanna see or find out if yung dami ba ng tao sa isang room ay nakakaapekto sa kanilang studies. So, for example, ang nilagay ko sa first room ay 70 students, and then the second room is 100, and then the third room is 150. And then, gumamit ako ng mga questionnaires na mag-a-assess kung yung mga students ba sa mga rooms na yun ay nakakasagot on that test, for example. So, for example, ang lumabas sa aking research or upon data gathering ay mas nakaka-focus yung mga student sa room na may maliit na estudyante. So, that's how you experiment on the independent variable kasi gumamit ka ng tatlong sets ng independent variables, si 70, si 100, and then si 150. So that's how you manipulate the independent variable, but still they are considered your independent variable because they are the respondents. Another classification of independent variable is yung subject variable. Itong subject variable na ito guys is ito yung usual na nakikita natin na, for example, age, sex, location, strand, anything na hindi na ma-manipulate pero it can be put into strata or groups to see if they have effect on the dependent variable. Si dependent variable naman, ang definition niya is the effect. Its values depends on changes in the independent variable. So, si dependent variable ay always dependent on the independent variable to have the result or the effect. Kaya nga, tinawag natin siya na effect dahil doon makikita kung ano yung effect or result ng iyong study based on its dependency sa iyong independent variable. For the second part, here is the question. Paano mo malalaman kung ano yung dapat na isulat sa iyong independent and dependent variable? So, let's create an example. Ang thesis ko ay impact of music to the senior high school students of Marawi City National High School. So, ang independent variable ko ay profile of respondents, specifically the senior high school. So, for example, ang nilagay ko sa independent variable ko, since it is hindi siya naapektuhan ng anything, I put the age there, ano yung location ng respondent, ano yung sex or gender niya, ano yung strand, ano yung level niya sa Arabic studies, and parents' occupation. So remember guys that si independent variable ay also known as the sub-problem. Okay? Independent variable natin guys ay ano yung impact ng music, impact of music sa senior high schools. Okay? So, impact ng music sa psychological and behavioral. So, kung napapansin nyo guys, dito sa dependent variable, ang nilagay ko dito ay what is the impact of music to the behavior of senior high school? And what is, number 2 is, what is the impact of music to the psychology of the senior high school students of Marawi City National High School? So, si dependent variable guys ay tinatawag nating main problem. So, ang statement of the problem nyo guys ay be-base sa kung ano yung nilagay nyo sa inyong independent and dependent variable. Okay? As a conclusion, bakit siya tinawag na cause and effect, si independent and dependent variable? Kasi, ang cause, for example, those 70 students, ano yung effect niya? Is it nakaka-focus ba yung mga student or not? So, it depends on the cause kung ano yung result ng effect. Okay? So it's called, independent variable is called the cause, and then dependent variable is called the effect. Kung tatanungin natin kung ano ba yung step-by-step ways ng pagsulat ng independent and dependent variable, napakasimple lang guys. Sa independent variable, you just have to write the profile of the respondents or anything that you want to base or cause in your study. So, the dependent variable naman ay kung ano yung gusto mong ma-found out sa iyong study. So, that's why they are also called the sub-problem and then the main problem. The main problem is ano ba talaga yung gusto mong i-address sa iyong research. So, don't forget guys that si independent and dependent variable ay dyan magbe-base yung statement of the problem nyo. So, don't worry, inshallah, in the next episode, we're gonna be talking about statement of the problem, and we will be basing our step-by-step ways of writing the statement of the problem from our dependent and independent variable. So, alhamdulillah, if you learned something from this, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Isnibi, and also follow our Facebook page, Isnibi also. And I hope to be seeing you again on the next episode ng ating Friday Red Day with me. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.